Afternoon all. We're on our way to Bath, the largest city in Somerset. Its many splendourous buildings bring in many visitors every year, some 1.3 million to be precise, of which we are but 2. This is Ness's 50th birthday treat for 2016, where we are taking in some of the sights of this beautiful place, but we're also here to visit the Christmas market. Our 2-night stay is at the Airlington Hotel, which boasted some great looking rooms on booking.com, so naturally we ended up in one of the only 2 waiting to be refurbished. Check out the missing door handle, the hole in the back of the wardrobe, and an unexplained gouge out of this wooden fitting. Oh, and the Donald Duck hook is about to fall off. So having settled down and sorted ourselves out, we walked into town, over the historic Pulteney Bridge, where underneath you'll find the entrance to the Herd. There is one on top, but we hadn't found that. They do wonderful steaks, so of course naturally I had pasta, but I washed it down with a decent bottle of wine. And, after the ice cream afters, finished it off with a limoncello. Welcome to Bath. Good morning all. Don't be fooled by those clear skies. It was freezing out there. The hot springs here were known long before the Romans arrived, but it was the Romans who put Bath on the map when they arrived in 60 AD and built the baths and temple. The city became a spa, to which they gave it the Latin name Aquae Sulis. It was in the 1600s when claims were made for the curative properties of water from the springs. The place became very popular in the Georgian era, bringing members of the aristocracy to partake in the health-giving waters. This era brought many new buildings. Well, all these tourists wanting a bath or a drink to their health had to stay somewhere, didn't they? The result was much in the way of fine architecture, all of which was crafted from Bath stone. We're leaving the Christmas fair till later and taking the chance to investigate some of the more famous examples. Many of the streets and squares were laid out by architect John Wood the Elder. The circus, built between 1754 and 1768, is one of his. The dimensions of this ring of historic Georgian-style townhouses was based on Stonehenge, a place he surveyed beforehand. It's craftily divided into thirds, meaning it doesn't matter which of the 3 entrance roads you approach from, each offer you magnificent views of the classic facades. A link road takes us up to one of the most famous views in the city. It sounds a bit mean to call this a sweeping row of 30 terraced houses, but that's exactly what the Royal Crescent is. This Grade 1 listed creation of John Wood the Younger is amongst the greatest examples of Georgian architecture found anywhere in Britain. The important thing is that the entire front remains the same. Typical, isn't it? There's nothing around until you want to cross the road, and then there's 2 at once. Bath got hit hard by the Luftwaffe during World War II. In April 1942, Bath suffered 3 air raids, part of the Luftwaffe's wider campaign of reprisals after the RAF had bombed the German cities of Lübeck and Rostock. The Bath Blitz, as it became known, killed more than 400 people, with more than 19,000 buildings damaged or destroyed. Bath is one of the 10 English cities visited most by overseas tourists, and with so much to see, that's not surprising. Even Jane Austen lived in Bath in the early 19th century, which by the way is the best and so far only link to Basingstoke I've found, for what it's worth. Apart from the Bath spas, there's canal boat tours, parade gardens and Royal Victoria Park, which hosts carnivals and seasonal events. Then you've got the Theatre Royal Bath, plus several museums. Hundreds of thousands of extra visitors are lured to the city for the market, with its bustling atmosphere. What could be more visually appealing than shopping around 170-odd wooden chalets in the presence of Bath Abbey, with the Roman baths and cobbled streets for a stunning backdrop? And especially so during weekends. So to avoid the crowds, it was a no-brainer to make this a midweek booking near the city centre. Many local traders with unique gifts to buy. Over 80% come from Bath or the southwest.
So, dear viewer, what is strange about this picture?
You give up? Yes, it's him. He's not really a statue. I can tell you he caught an awful lot of people out. On the hunt for Christmas presents, this stall finally caught my eye. Now all these products are made out of a particular type of wood which is polished up so much it looks like glass. Do you remember that Doctor Who story with the statues that moved in the blink of an eye? Well, it didn't seem very long before he suddenly popped up again around the corner. Not really scary though. Although I did say, where was he at one point, and suddenly he was right behind me. Good egg though. Did a bit of a pose for me. Right, so we've not seen this bit yet, but we will. Well, it's that time of day. We want some food, but we don't know where we want it from unless we find it and it appeals to us, as it did with the Roman Baths kitchen. Got any room? Yeah, loads. Come in. Terrific. What are you going to eat then? I don't know. Menu's full. We both ended up with duck.
Well, here she is, the temperance lady, which is quite funny because she's built absolutely opposite the whiskey shop. Well, we're getting it all in Bath tonight. Do we want to go down this way?
And finally, relax by the fireside in the Airlington, before going to bed in our bedroom with beaten up footings. No, I'm only joking. It really is rather good. See you tomorrow, folks. Good morning all, and welcome to our hearty breakfast.
Bendy bus.
My life is complete. Another beautiful morning, and another cold morning. And another walk over Pulteney Bridge into the bargain. Today we're going to look at more of Bath itself, including the Roman baths. This is one of Europe's best preserved ancient sites.
It's a bit warmer in here, isn't it? I realise I'm obviously old because you just asked me about putting it round your neck and use it like a telephone. I must have gold.
Explorations have been taking place here for nearly 300 years, but the Roman baths themselves were not discovered and explored until the late 19th century. And look, they've even got their own ghost, the spirit of a man who's condemned forever to act like a tour guide and meet and greet tourists. Oh well. Leaving the ticket hall, we go out onto the terrace which overlooks the magnificent Great Bath. And what an introduction to this place. It extends under the modern ground level and beneath adjacent streets and squares. It's amazing to discover just how big this site actually is. And what you can see from the terrace is less than a quarter of the whole site. The mineral-rich water from the sacred spring attracted visitors from across the Roman Empire. The Great Bath is lined with 45 sheets of lead, and filled with hot spa water. It was once within an enormous barrel-vaulted hall that rose to a height of 20 metres. It must have been incredibly impressive to the many visitors that came, some journeying from far and wide across the Roman Empire. And for many locals, this would have been the largest building they would ever enter in their life. Today, it's fascinating to understand that the Roman ground level is some 4 metres below the modern ground level you see outside. There's niches all around that once held benches for bathers, and possibly small tables for drinks or snacks. A large flat slab of stone, known today as the diving stone, is set across the point where hot water flows into the bath. The hot water in the spring rises up at a rate of 1,170,000 litres of water a day at 46 degrees Celsius. It bubbles up into the King's Bath, which was built in the 12th century AD. This area today includes displays that immerse visitors in the sights and sound of how it was. With projections, soundscapes and computer-generated reconstructions, you get a flavour of the popularity of this place as a working, living and leisure environment. It was also a place where Romans of all social classes interacted with each other. The waters don't seem to have done much for him. The great ornament pediment still survives and has been re-erected in the museum. There's a fearsome head carved into the bath stone, and it's thought to be the Gorgon's head. This was a powerful symbol of the goddess Sulis Minerva, and the people of Aquae Sulis would visit the baths and temple to worship her. In fact, the whole collection is of international significance, containing thousands of finds from the site. The many objects on display tell about the people who lived and worked in the area. There's also the Street Horde. This is a collection of over 17,000 Roman coins which were discovered in 2007. The temple courtyard is a sacred area where Roman worshippers gathered to pray to the goddess Sulis Minerva. Sacrifices were also made at the Great Altar. The western range of baths has a sequence of pools and heated rooms. Many of the surviving hypercaust pillars show how their underfloor heating system worked. And that cold circular plunge pool though, that's 1.6 meters deep, and just looking at it makes me shiver. The spa water contains 43 minerals, which for centuries attracted many visitors to Bath. Such spa water has been used for curative purposes for 2,000 years. Originally, the treatments meant bathing in the hot waters. Then, in the late 17th century, drinking the spa water also became a recognised treatment for certain conditions. Well, thank you and goodbye to the historic Roman baths. And now it's back to the Christmas market.
Black smoked and cranberry, £12 please. Cheers, thank you very much, thank you.
People are there for hours and
Oh well, here we are in the town centre. We've just seen something completely mad. A phone box full of balls. Just going round the corner. I said, I wonder if he'd be here. And do you know what? He was, right behind us. I have no idea if that was on me or not.
Ah, now you're talking. A route master with the front entrance. You get a better class of busker in these sort of places, don't you? And he's there again. I tell you what, he was all over the place. Back to the herd where we both had steaks tonight. I did ask the waiter if I could have it well done. He looked at me, took the order and said, "That's Sir's choice, isn't it? Yeah, even if you want it carbonised," he said. Morning all. Right, breakfast at the Airlington, and then we're on the road because we're going to Street, where you've got Clark's Village. And this is where Ness particularly wanted to visit, especially as it is her birthday trip after all. Let's just hope it isn't too busy, eh? Unlike the mad roads. No, we weren't expecting that. Alright, so you've got to take your chance and get out sometime, haven't you?
Turn left after 200 yards, then take the second right turn.
What, twice in one day? OMG! Side road and oh, tractor!
Turn left after 300 yards and follow the A371. Leave the roundabout at the first exit and follow the A39.
You think I got that wrong, folks? Not telling. Look at the beautiful trees all frosted up. And now we're at Street, where we're at Clark's Village. Well, you just couldn't find a space, completely mad. Now we're following this guy who's all bagged up and we're thinking, well, he's going to be going, isn't he? And he looks at us and he says, "Nah, carry on, mate, I'm going back in." Fine. Oh, look, eventually. After about 20 minutes of driving around. Come on, get in there before someone comes in behind you, up your ear.
I don't think I've ever been here before, and the way it is, I'm not going in here again in a hurry.
This is what it's like in Glastonbury Street, folks. It's snowing, but only off the tree. Isn't that beautiful? Will you look at that?
The concept of outlet shopping, well, that came from the US, of course. And it's stereotypically situated in a mall-style environment resembling a mock street, a village square or quayside. Yeah, I agree, this is an attractive shopping environment, usually encompasses leisure facilities and has got an abundance of car parking for shoppers, ha ha ha. Well, usually anyway. You get discounted content within each individual store, and you usually get last season's end-of-line products, quality seconds, cancelled orders, discontinued lines, all that stuff, as well as specific outlet stock. Most of it, well, that can be discounted at anything between 30% to 80% off high street prices.
Oh yeah, this is where I lose her.
Now remember that we came here specifically for Ness to treat herself on all these lovely shoes.
Well, here we go. In Clarkston, look, I bought something. Oh, and Nessa's got nothing.
Yes, but don't tell her I said that, will you? Oh, I guess I just did.
Action, please.